Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. If you like the way any of this information is being broken down, consider becoming a subscriber or, hit the like button. Don't leave without hitting the like button. Share the video. And if you have any favorites, favorite tracks or aspects of this album that I'm talking about, leave me a comment about it. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this. Hey, I'm gonna try to keep this talk centered on this album, TZU and the Wav.God by by Danielson, Brown Bag Money, and producer Futurewave. I'm gonna try to keep it centered on their project. I really love it. I think it's a dope album. Or this is like a few tracks longer than an EP. So I'm going with album. It's 10 joints. Actually, I think 10 tracks is really my favorite amount of songs for a project. I'm gonna try to keep it on that, but I might just talk a little bit of music. I know the Nas project came out recently, Magic, solely produced by Hit Boy. And maybe I gotta mention a few things to say where I'm coming from. I'm also, I'm not trying to step on anybody's feet, and tear down any artists. But I talk. I'm a music fan. I'm a music fan. I ain't a music critic. This project right here was what I was hoping for when Rome Streets and Futurewave were going to make an album. The production on here was what I was looking for. And when that album came out, I believe it was called The Razor's Edge, it just didn't resonate with me the way that I had anticipated. I didn't say that was trash. I just didn't I didn't do backflips and listen to that as many times as I listened to TZU and the Wav.God today. But shout out to Danielson, shout out to Futurewave. I continue to check in with both of them on when they have projects coming out. And I had to have been a big fan of Futurewave if I anticipated the Razor's Edge. So again, I'm not trashing that project. Danielson has really been a dude. I don't know, man. I like dude's vibe. I like how he makes records. I think he has a unique voice. I like his subject matter. He doesn't seem, even on the album, it doesn't seem to be annoyingly redundant, his subject matter and what he's talking about. He mentions his international travel and talks about fishing. He mentions fine dining and whatnot. Talks about the ladies a little bit. Doesn't use an excessive amount of profanity. Obviously, there's no N-words dropped in there because I think he's a white guy. He could be biracial in some way or whatever, but I think he just classifies as a white dude. But in some ways, man, his style, it's not that cool, slick. It ain't no Fabulous or a Benny the Butcher when he gets into some of his stuff. It's not really a Conway. He kind of yells his lyrics and brings a lot of energy. I like the way he kind of cuts off some of his words. I don't know if it's his accent in Toronto or whatever, but I like the dude. But I kind of likened him to when Noriega first came on the scene. They don't rhyme exactly alike or nothing like that, but I'm just saying it's a certain, like I said, it's not no laid back dude trying to be slick and sophisticated and cool. He's an energy dude. I love how he puts his choruses together on here. And when I talk about annoyingly redundant, like I listened to the new Russ album with all the features on it, and Russ mentioned his money and hey, that's his thing. But I'm just saying, as someone sitting here listening to it, I got a little bored with it. The constant references to the money. you know, multi 10 million, 20 million. Wasn't really, you know, that wasn't a shining part of that project for me. But Danielson got on my map with can't remember exactly where I first heard him, but I know he popped up on the Long Story Short album by Ito and Superior. He popped up on that, but I was already familiar with him at that time. He had another track with Flea Lord. He had a song on Buck Wild's Music Is My Religion. I also checked out the album Bite the Bullet with Danielson, A-Sun Eastwood, and Futurewave. I'm trying to think where the hell I first heard the dude, but I don't know. I just connect with how he does his thing. Album wise, let me talk about the production really quick. Just Futurewave is like gritty jazz, and then even a little bit of soul. He throws enough horns in there that really catches my ear as a dude that listened, you know, grew up in the 80s and 90s hip hop, being a huge Tribe Called Quest fan. I always appreciate the producers that still incorporate horns and jazz and, you know, and their samples and whatnot. So he does that on this. And then he kind of makes some songs that's like built out of different pieces of noise is the best way I can categorize it. But one thing that I love about the production on this album is most of it sounds like it all came from like a similar time period, or maybe even a similar, the same composer, or some guys that kind of were out at about the same time, when some kind of vibe was going on. It just, the way this album sounds, it really sounds like a cohesive album. When I used to listen to a Gangstar or a Tribe Called Quest, Black Moon, you know, when the Beat Miners was doing all of that stuff, I really get that feel that this is that this was like they sat in a lab and cooked this thing up face to face. Now they could have did this shit by emails or Zoom or whatever, but it's 10 tracks, and I gotta be honest, man. I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times today. It came out today, the first hip hop album of 2022 for me. It's 10 tracks on here. It's only one joint on here that I didn't write down as a banger, and that was Nostradamus. But Nostradamus is not even a mid song, or I could easily put that on my list. What I did do, if you can see, I highlight songs that are I highlighted in orange. Songs that I think are straight fire. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10 are highlighted for me as standout records. So that just leaves, you know, that's 7. Then 2 more are on here as my favorites on the album. And then Nostradamus is number 10. So that's 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. I enjoy this project, man. I can't wait till I get my bike back to get out on some rides and really can listen to this and live with it a little bit more. When I listened to it this last time before hitting record on this, some things even stood out to me more. But I think the highlights are Sunrise, which is the lead off cut. I think it's like some live. I don't know if these are live drums on here, or he's punching these in with the pads or something, but it's got a live drum feel to it. But I like Sunrise, is dope. Track 2 is Full Moon. The only bad thing about it is it's one of the shorter songs on the track, but one of my favorite beats on here. Death and Taxes featuring Pro Dillinger is another that I have highlighted. Field Trips featuring Wrong Streets is the third record, I believe. It's a dope song. Good to see Wrong Streets reuniting with Futurewave, and Wrong Streets and Danielson do their thing when they link up. Hallelujah, I like that record. Third Eye featuring Flea Lord. A really exceptional feature or appearance for Flea Lord, in my opinion. And I like how, you know, Wrong Streets and Flea Lord come in here as the noteworthy features along with Pro Dillinger and a cat named Cipher Soze. But Rome and Flea Lord like don't steal the show or take over the projects. It's like a great two-man game on field trips, and then Third Eye with Flea Lord. Stove Dance is another joint that I have highlighted. Is another highlight of the album. I like this sample, and then when you get into the second half of the song and the beat, the drum track actually comes in, or the percussion or whatever, however you want to look at it, and I'm just liking I'm liking that Futurewave, his contribution to this thing. Like, I'm not just listening to a Danielson project. Futurewave is in his co-starring, bag on this project. Talk to Yourself, the drums and horns on that one, that's another one that I have highlighted. And then the last song on the album is Sunset featuring Cipher Soze. I've seen him and heard him on other tracks with Danielson, but he had a pretty good feature himself. And like I said, man, in listening to the Magic album with Nas, this is not to trash Hit Boy. Hit Boy is obviously a very talented producer, and I love that Hit Boy and Nas have linked up, and Nas seems to really trust him, and he's kind of rejuvenated Nas. We get 3 projects in 2.5 years or whatever it is, with the KD 1 and 2, and now Magic. He let us know on this project KD 3 is on the way. And Nas really he's spitting on this Magic project. But man, it's something about just hearing an artist when they're new. And I want to say that, like, that's what's so hard. I didn't even want to review Magic because I'm so tainted by Illmatic, and it was written, and a couple of other albums and some singles and some remixes, the Street Dreamers remix. My expectations for Nas are so tainted that I hear him in Hit Boy, but I don't know if I've really heard a classic single in any of this body of work that they've amassed to this point. I've heard good records. I've heard some good music, but I just, and maybe it is a classic. I see dudes online talking about his classic. He just dropped 3 classics, and I'm like, I didn't hear 3 classics, but I mean, if you say so, I guess he did. So, but what I'm saying here with it's dope to hear a cat like Danielson in his journey and in his maturation process, and how he comes out with new albums and strives, to establish himself in the game and become a doper artist or illa MC or whatever you want to look at it. And I just really appreciate the way that this project was put together. I think they nailed it. Again, just because I was a little, I really didn't connect. Like I said, Razor's Edge didn't really resonate with me. It wasn't like I went to Instagram and unfollowed Futurewave and was like, this dude is trash. I never want to hear no more of his music again. When I saw the album cover earlier this week with a samurai theme to it or whatever, and then I didn't realize I didn't realize what Danielson's his Instagram handle or @ really didn't register for me that that's who it was the project was going to be with. And then when I, hit the name and whatnot and realized that Futurewave and Danielson were dropping a project, and it was coming out on the 1st of January, I had the anticipation going again, just like I did for the Wrong Streets joint. And that was the first thing when I rolled over and got myself together this morning. Let me see what this album is about. And I think it's fantastic, man. Is it an instant classic? Is it 5 mics, 5 stars, 10 out of 10? I've been rocking with it all day. It's dope hip hop. And And I hope more people listen to it. I hope more people check it out. Yeah, like I said, man, Death and Taxes, that might be my favorite on here. I kind of consider this like a struggle ballad. The dudes, him and Pro Dillinger, are kind of talking about making it out of the streets, making it out of the struggle and whatnot. It's got that emotional sound to it. The sample, sounds kind of sad, or dudes reflecting on surviving and whatnot. I really like that. And like I said, man, I love the choruses. I love how Danielson gets into and out of the verses, back to the chorus. I like the song length, except for, like I said, Sunrise being a little too short, as dope as a record as it is. And then it just gives you 10 records. It gives you 10 records and it's out. And they nailed it. So, salute to both of those cats. I'm looking forward to, what's coming next from out of Toronto with these guys. We don't get videos with many of these projects. We don't get like singles and all of that type of stuff, man. It's kind of a shitty way to listen to music nowadays, but that's how it's done. You just sit here, and you stream it. Maybe you've copped some vinyl and, from some of these projects. But like I said, man, I had it on rotation heavy today. And, it kicks off my hip hop calendar year in dope fashion. So let me get on out of here again, man. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. 1.